Hey everybody, back again with another one for today, and going to be doing Dr. Doom on the old coloring board today, so we're going to see how it goes. Bear with me just a second. I'm going to share this over with the page here and with the channel so that everybody can join in. I know it's kind of late, but still wanted to knock this out and maintain the daily. So I'm trying a little bit different lighting setup. I hope it looks good. Anyway, here we go. Have to bear with me a little bit. My hands are extremely sore today. Did a little prep work on putting up a fence along my driveway, and we set the foundation and stuff today, so I'm kind of really sore with my hands from digging and prepping and all that good stuff, and it's just, yeah. So bear with me. I'll try to be as quick as possible because I know it's late. But I want to get this one out. And like I said, I wanted to try a little bit different lighting today because some people have been telling me it's a little dark. For those that can't see it, Johnny said, "Way to Robin, you're good weather." Yeah, we had fairly good weather today. It was cold though. It was really cold. The ground was really hard and it was cold. It just wasn't like wet, you know. It wasn't a wet, nasty cold today, but it was cold. It was definitely cold. It still is. Very, very cold. So it wasn't springtime weather or anything crazy like that. It was definitely winter weather. But yeah, I want to get it set in before it freezes and all that. And the funny thing is I'm house hunting right now, so I love looking at houses and stuff and getting different ideas and things. We'll have to wait and see how all that goes. But yep. We shall see. Putting a little shadowing here, just getting this all underway because these aren't as shiny. Normally this is a lasso that goes across, but I like the ultimate version, so I put in the chains. You know, it's a respect to the old silver version that Jack Kirby used to have. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but the old Doctor Doom, the original Doctor Doom, used to have a chain across there, not a lasso or lariat. You know, the braided chain kind of thing. It used to be a silver chain going across, and then it was the yellow disc, the Imperial mounts, as it were. And I believe these have a formal name, but I don't know it. So there we go. Okay. Anyway, now we've got that in. I wanted to go with one more. This one's got a little more of a egg yolk type of yellow happening. All my vegan friends will be gross. I am not a vegetarian or a vegan. I like salads and vegetables and fruits though. Being a farm boy, I'll never stop eating vegetables and stuff as long as I'm able to get them. Vegetables, fruits, stuff like that. It's just something I grew up on. That was my suite originally when I was a kid. You know, we could have as much of that as we wanted. But anyway, I'm gonna go in here and get this eye set and the scar tissue colored in with that kind of dark pink brown kind of thing going on, where he looks really burnt up. And I've got to reach down here real quick because I forgot to get the one thing that I wanted. There we go. Sorry about that. I forgot to get the blue for his eyes. And it's got a really pale blue crystal kind of color thing going on. Sometimes people make his eyes brown. I don't know why, but I like to make them the blue, that gray blue kind of hazel wash going on. I think it makes him look creepy. I like the blue eyes because it makes him look a little more creepy. But then going right in the middle of that and put in a blue pop, and it makes him look even more so. So there we go. Cool deal. And then take out the old C0, which is a cool gray, and go right there in the middle to make them still look colored but shiny, you know, wet like tears. And then go right in the middle of that white to mute it just a little, tone it down and make it look organic rather than washed. And we are going to do his suit first. I'm going to go with a brighter. I'm not sure which one of these is going to be brighter. Okay, this one. So I'm going to go in and put in this bright green first before I do the metal on his armor. I'm going to go ahead and do this tunic and his infamous hood. So we'll have that nice and pretty there. And I will say this, you know, for one of the most awkward colors as green can be, Dr. Doom's costume is one of the most dynamic of all of them. It really is. It really is a great costume. And I believe Jack Kirby designed it. I might be mistaken in that, but I think he did the first FF with Dr. Doom. Not saying that issue number 1 was the first. I'm saying the first appearance of Dr. Doom when he finally showed up, which I think was number 5. Don't hold me to that. But I think it was issue 5 where he showed up. I'm not absolutely sure. I used to know. I have to go back and reread them so nobody takes my comic card away. Your Marvel fandom card has been revoked. So, yes, that is absolutely correct. Dr. Doom has blue eyes and Reed has brown. And so many people get that mixed up. Because I saw a lot of, if you guys saw the series for Jim Lee's Rebirth, or Reborn actually, the Marvel Reborn. I don't want to mix that up with DC's Rebirth. It is Reborn. If you check out the Fantastic Four Reborn, he actually has brown eyes when Jim Lee draws him. They colored him wrong, I think. They switch back and forth, but there's a couple issues in there where they're actually brown. But if they make that mistake, they'll just pass it off as either a oops, a coloring error, or they'll say that it was just, you know, an alternate universe version. But whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, it is a mistake on their part, but it's not the end of the world. It's really not. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Phil. I have no idea what Facebook has going on when I do these lives, that they miss a little bit of that and don't give notices. And there's not much I can really do about it. I wish I could. But make sure you have your notifications turned on, and make sure and check it. In the video box to the right, the chat box to the right, there should be a notification button. Be sure you hit that so you can check when my notifications come on, because I go live pretty quick, and it's going to be all about getting it in there and getting it done, and going from there. Oops, one off the table. I don't want to go that dark yet. There we go. Cool deal. I'm going to keep these highlights out on the outskirts because I really like the way Doom's costume looks when it's got really strong bright greens in it, rather than being dark and just being shadowed in certain areas, because it tends to bleed really bad and just runs away, and then the dark green takes over, and then it's no fun anymore. I mean, granted, it's Doom, but still, I just don't like the way it looks, so I tend not to go that route. I like to paint him out because this is one of those characters that's very cool and very vibrant, and just has the grace of classic Marvel. Let me put it that way, for lack of a better term. It's got the finesse and the classic Marvel look that will reach out and grab you if you let it. Where a lot of these characters just don't have that appeal, this one does, and he comes out really sharp. I mean, there's very few characters that you can think about and they make you think of that character and think about how just phenomenally cool and what a literal villain he can be. And there's very few characters that I actually care about and like that are villains. And you always have to have a compassion for Doom because of the fact that, you know, he's the second fiddle to Reed Richards no matter what. And that's the undertone and undertone of his whole persona, is to be the evil shadow, the darker half of, you know, that coin. So a lot of people don't get that. He's not just a rich kid with a title from Europe and coming over and causing trouble. He's really vengeful towards Reed because Reed was there in the accident that caused him to become Dr. Doom. You know, it was an explosion from an experiment that they tried to create together. And Victor was injured, and Reed was not. So, and he always blamed Reed for that because he was kind of vain. you know, being European and royalty and whatnot as he is. He always blamed Reed for it, for messing up his classic good looks. Okay. Yeah, he's coming up real quick there. All right. Now, I'm going to go in with this washed green. And hit those finer dark spots. Just a little. Not too much. Like I said, I don't want to wash them out. With a character like Doom, where the detail is in the charisma of the character, always keep in mind that you can go lighter. Less is more. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah, Johnny, it does. Johnny just mentioned that some of the defaults on Facebook change automatically now and again because of the fact that they do resets and things. I just noticed the fuzz and stuff on the back of that marker where it hit the other side of the desk. My daughter had her cat out here earlier, and he was sleeping under here. Got some of his hair on my floor now, apparently. That's why I don't like having him in the office. For one, I'm allergic. I'm not mean to cats or anything, but I'm not a cat person either. I don't mind them. It's just I'm not a fan. And he sheds really bad, so I was just looking at the marker going, wow, what is that? It's where he laid on the mat under the chair mat under my desk here. And have you ever noticed if you're a cat person, you know, you have cats around, you know what it's like. When you don't like them, when you don't like cats, is when they want to hang around you the most. And they know I don't like them, and I'm not comfortable with them. And like I said, it's nothing mischievous or mean or malicious or anything like that. I have no problem with cats. It's just I'm not a cat person. I prefer a dog. And it's just one of those things because I have my lab, you know, and he stays out here sometimes with me in the office. And it's just one of those things. Just being a dog person. But anyway, now I know that I'll have to pull my desk mat out. It's like, really, man? Because he's Maine Coon, so he is a massive, massive animal, and still a kitten, and shedding like crazy, and loves to drive me nuts. But yeah, I could live with or without. I would never hurt an animal, mind you. Not unless it was a survival situation where I was hunting it and had to have it or something, but the cat wouldn't fall into that category anyway. Nope, 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 nope. But being originally from Texas, I can hunt and survive. I have no problem with that. Let's see. Now it's going to get really cool here. The classic bright green, bright forest green. traditional Doom color for his tunic. I'm going to do this outside first. Oh yeah, awesome. Feather in from this direction. This will make them start to pop out and show up here. Oh yeah, definitely. Now I'll go back this direction here. Now see, the reason I set that olive undertone first as the shading is because it washes this down a little bit, it mutes it down just a little so it's not overwhelming, and two is the fact that it blends that brighter green right into this one with a gradation type of feel. Very cool. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Trying to work this brush around. Yeah, that's got a hard pop to it. Because most people used to go in real heavy first with the darker green and then highlight around it. And it's hard to do that. It really is. It's hard to do that and make it look good and vibrant. Because normally the lighter colors will blend in and won't leave anything to the gradation or the desired effect. And Lord forbid it get muddy on you. That's horrible when they do that. See? Cool deal. I like it. Now, where's my N5? Now I'm going to go in and start I'm going to start the armor first is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in light and start the armor first instead because I wanted to do something a little different. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the armor first and let that green set before I go put in the gray and finish it. Now you may not be able to see this part yet, and that's okay. Phil, he's quoting Ghostbusters. Human sacrifice, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I want to put this up on the lighter side as the highlight because this is going to be, I'm going to leave very little natural white in here. It will be there, it will be present, but I am whitewashing the majority of the mass of each area because of the fact that I don't want it to, I want it to look like metal with sporadic white spots. I don't want it to look, I want it to have a base coat, basically is what I'm saying. I'm priming it. That's the best way to put it. I'm priming it. I don't want it to be overexposed white because white as the base does not look like metal to me. However, this whitewash smoky gray comes in very convenient in that regard. And I'm going to show you another trick too. Take a warm one, a warm gray, like a 1 or a 1, 2, max 3, because it starts to look too brown at that point, and then do this. and give it another base coat in various directions. And you want to kind of brush it on just little by little. A lot of people won't tell you this, but I'm telling you because of the fact that I do a lot of mech work and a lot of raw metal, medieval type stuff. And I don't show a lot of that work here. I do a lot of that for European work. I need to do more of that here. But yeah, a lot of my artwork that goes overseas, I do that. I need to start doing more of it here. Just see now, you can see how that's got a base to it. It's got that metallic base to it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this one. What did I do with my N3? Trying to set my stuff aside as I use them so I don't reuse them over and over. There's my N3, there's my T3. That's the web T3. Now I'm going in with a T3, which is a little bit darker. And this is where we'll start to get some of the tones in, okay? This is where we're going to see some of the cool parts. The closer to the face you can go on the seams is where you want to put those. Because with metal, you put the highlights at the top, and then you put the shading in the low points. On ridges and in seams and things like that. Give it a little shadow right there under the eye so that looks like a separate plate. On top of that, cool deal. Make that look raised. Make that nose look like it sticks out a little more. Put those jaw pieces up. And since this is inlaid, put a lot of that, like that. Shade this out. See, that stuff's starting to pop up. And people have different techniques, you know, so to each their own. But for me, this is what I like to do. I like to take that one side and shade it and make it look ridged more than anything. Block that off right there just a little. Make that outside look like it curves in and under. There we go. Cool deal. Pop that under, put that side shadow. And then right here, normally it wouldn't go right along the top like this, but because this is a three-dimensional overlay, and you want that to look raised, you put that in there just like that. And that makes it look like it's a faceplate on faceplate on faceplate. That makes it look like it has a raised curve to it, just a little bit. Don't go too high, not too much. Then I'm going to cover into the shadow part like that because of the hood. Most people would overwork this and give it a big highlight up there, but I don't like to do that. What I like to do is I like to come in here and go somewhere about here in the middle of the forehead and make it match out to where he's got light hitting him. Just to kind of make the hood look like it's hanging over his face a little more. But that's a personal choice, though. And then go in here with an N3 and kind of wash stuff out a little bit. Those dark points, the really dark spots that hard shadows are hitting. Along the nose, on the ears. Like that. Darken up those rivets. Rivets, rivets, rivets. Everywhere, rivets. Okay, cool deal. Now, I'll go in here, hit those dark spots under his neck and right up underneath these deep face plates. This is a raised effect here. And then I'll go right in under the nose to kind of make it darken up and stand out just a little bit more. And that's pretty much where that goes. And then right up here, darken this down as it goes back a little bit. Go ahead and put that shadow across there so it looks like it's draping. And now comes the T6, which is almost a black. I like this one because it goes really dark. And be careful with these T6s. About T4 and higher, be very careful because this gets into the real smoky gray ranges, and it doesn't dry dark, but it'll as a black, but it'll scare you sometimes if you let it. Tip that back a little bit, get some of that ink out of there. This is a perfect combination for dark shading along his hood here as it goes down over his face. But you have to be careful though, because like I said, it'll take over real quick. And this is where you want to go in that undertone underneath, like under the eyes, like this right here, and along that ridge of the nose. I'm trying to be delicate with it so I don't put a big swoosh across there. That would be a bummer. Tilt out some of that nose there a little bit. And refine it right up underneath. Not taking out all that delicate gray work that I did, that toning on these other plates. Now, right here across this lip, just a little bit where it tips under. And where this lip plate tips in. And then this bottom lip is. Kind of tip that in like that a little bit. Don't want to do the whole thing because you want some highlight to hit it. Well, this is a very delicate piece right here because if you do this too much, you'll wipe it out. Where you get down into the neck and stuff. I'm very skittish with this one. I'm not afraid of it. I'm saying I'm being very skittish with the ink because of the fact that I do not want to overwork this and black it out and make it look washed, and then it just ties right into the background, and then it looks ridiculous. It just looks out of balance. So don't do that. Like right under where that jaw plate is, I want to put that right there, a little bit right there, and right on the tip of the nose, just a little, to show that one side darker than the other. Very cool. Now I'm going to go back in. What did I do? There's my N3. Now I want to go back over this and pop some darks in here before we call it a day. Just a little bit of gray to bring everything together. Just in the darker spots. Okay. Pulling it all together a little bit. There we go. Cool deal. Now, what I'm going to do is use a cooler one. I'm thinking, oh, T4 will work. Let's go with the warm 2 because I don't want it to go too dark. Go a little more brown-esque. I just want to mute that color a little. On the outside to show a little shading. It also makes them look a little more, it gives them a metal wash kind of, which is a good thing because it makes them look a little more like a dull metallic type of thing rather than just a bright shiny, you know, yellow coin sitting on him. And now, to make everything pop and come out, make it come alive, make it come alive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here like this and just kind of paint around the old Dr. Doom here, like that. Rotate my brush here. And we'll finish him up this way. Kind of blending that a little bit. There we go, cool deal. leaving a little of an airy look. There we go. All right, cool deal. Hope you guys dig that. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's awesome that you did. I appreciate it. I know it's late. I am going to jump off here now, and I think I'm going to call it a night, and I will catch you guys tomorrow, much earlier, of course, so we won't have to worry about that. And I'm going to sweep my floor before I call it a night, and then write myself a note to remind my daughter not to bring the cat in the office while he's shedding during the winter, so we don't have that again. But anyway, putting my markers and stuff up. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to do this guy. I think I'm going to do Rhino tomorrow for you guys so that we can knock that one out as well and have another Spider-Man villain and go from there. Also got some new stuff coming up. Going to be working on the webcomic and stuff and starting that and showing you guys some behind-the-scenes stuff. So because of the new year, it going live and all that, finally going to give some sneak peeks at that. So talk to you tomorrow. As always, take care. Hug somebody. Smile. Be nice. Be happy. Leave the place better today than you got it yesterday. Talk to you tomorrow.